Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Win with Ryan, where we cover the crypto headlines, surf the crypto markets, and surf the world. Today, I have a follow-up video from our video we did yesterday. Been a lot of questions about what is Holochain. So let's go ahead. Here's Holo. There's their logo and everything. We're going to talk about Holochain. And a couple of people have been asking about it because it was intriguing to them. The video got a lot of popularity, lots of great comments. And some people were asking where to buy it and everything like that. So we're going to go ahead and cover a couple things. What is Holochain in this video? We're then going to look at Holochain in the markets, what it's doing live right now. And also we'll look at the Holochain CoinMarkets Pro score. So let's go ahead and jump into what is Holochain right off the bat, and then we'll go into the markets. So here we go. All right, so first of all, what we did, we went and jumped over to holochain.org. This is their website here. Think outside of the blocks, right? So get it outside of the blockchains. What comes after the blockchain? And then Holochain explains a cool little video. And then the press and media, Forbes, Cointelegraph, World Economic Forum, Crypto Ticker, all talking about it. There's a cool little testimonial here of an actual app builder that built their app on Holochain. Scalable, disrupted apps with data integrity, scalable, distributed apps with data integrity, versatile solutions, decentralization with no bottlenecks and adaptable validation, no centralized servers, no ledgers, no middleman, so it's peer-to-peer, and agent-centric individual authority over data sharing, access, and storage. A more human internet. And you can also click on their white paper here and get involved with that. But what we're going to do is we're going to jump into this video right here so I can show you guys from the co-founders' words. I know, I've done a lot of videos. I've done a lot of research now on this, but it's always best hearing it from the co-founders. So let's go ahead and take a listen to what Arthur Brock has to say about Holochain here.
So there's a lot of excitement about blockchain right now. And what's great about blockchain is that it has separated data integrity from data security, meaning you don't have to keep data locked up behind a wall. You can actually spread it among many people and they can't tamper with it. And you can operate different types of agreements, systems, smart contracts, applications in that space and make sure that everybody's following the rules. A lot of people have started to see how this might be able to shift some of the dynamics, in particular power dynamics in our systems, where, for example, for a currency, you could technically have currencies that we all could participate in and issue rather than that being something central to bankers or governments. And also for software, things like Facebook or Twitter, we actually could just run these things peer-to-peer and not have a company in the middle spying on us, choosing for us, deciding what we see, what we don't. Blockchain is a hash chain of blocks of transactions, and all of the nodes that are participating in it have to synchronize one chain. They have to end up with one global ledger, which means essentially everybody has to do all of the work. So there's a fundamental scalability problem. It doesn't actually get more efficient as you add more nodes. It gets less efficient. Holochain is probably better thought of as like Git, which is a version management tool that organizes your things into a hash, but every developer is running their own copy of the repository. In Holochain, every node has its own chain, its own source chain, and all of the changes that it contributes to the system are signed to its chain and then shared to a sort of distributed GitHub, if you will. But it's a DHT, which is the technology that BitTorrent uses, for example. And so this isn't a new technology. None of the parts of this is new. It's the combination that is. And in part, what makes the DHT so different is that it's a validating DHT. It's sharded as well, which we've been sharding DHTs for a while. People have been trying to shard blockchains and haven't really figured out a good way to do that yet, but there's a lot of people very hopeful about that direction. So you can shard it, break it into pieces, and then the nodes that end up with the data, having to store this piece of data, actually validate that data. They request, they validate it against the source chains who published it. So they make sure it was signed to that person's chain and that it followed the rules in producing it. So for example, if it's a currency, that you had the credits you were spending. When people know blockchain, if they really understand the technology, they sometimes have a hard time kind of inverting the thinking because you're doing the signed chain part at the edges instead of at the center. And the center is an eventually consistent monotonic distributed hash table.
The structure is different, so it's not about having a distributed ledger that everybody is connecting to. It's about having individual source chains that are validated against each other and checked against their neighbors. So there's a sufficiency rather than everybody having to get on. And that's what makes it scalable, because as it gets bigger, it only gets more resilient and more efficient.
All right, and as we continue through their site, Holochain helps people own their own data, control their identity, connect applications to suit their needs, transact without centralized systems, build lighter, faster, cheaper applications. Holochain apps help governance and collaboration, social media, social networks, and vendor links, sharing economy and platform co-ops apps, supply chain wins, and social communities. Start building your own innovative applications. We're not just a magic idea white paper. You can build cutting-edge distributed apps in JavaScript or Lisp on our platform right now. Your apps will have access to core services like a customizable UI, the Holochain DPKI app that manages keys and identities across Holochain applications. The Holo platform for serving crypto apps to normal web browsers, API bridges between crypto apps, and the capability to migrate data when updating distributed apps. To develop Holochain applications, you need to know about getting Holochain installed, how to use the command line tools, how to configure your application by creating a DNA file, how to write your application code in JavaScript or Lisp, how to think through building a distributed application, how to build a user interface for your app, and how to test your application's code. So there's more and more. You can go ahead and check out what's going on their website, some more information here, but this is what Holochain's all about. So their website is very well put together. The team is really, really phenomenal. And so the project is just something that I'm really excited about. So to get in so early on the project, it is incredible. If you watched yesterday's video on Holochain, you saw that people were talking about price predictions of 1.5 cents or sorry 0.015 cents, so less than 2 cents. And then they were saying maybe it could go to 2.5 cents. It's already been up to 3 cents, and people are just catching on to this. The tech on this thing is phenomenal. The momentum on this thing is also great. So let's go look at the charts so we can see. I know some of you guys are like, well, how do we make money in this, right? So let's take a look at the charts. There is money to be made, but also when getting in a project, remember, we're looking long-term here. We want to think about projects that are going to be able to sustain themselves and be around. It's not a pump and dump. So let's go take a look at those charts now. All right, so like we talked about yesterday, we did have a nice run up yesterday, which was great. So the price ran up from, I got in at 1 cent, which was right here when it was consolidating for this little bit. It made a nice run up and it made this bump right here. This was a resistance for a couple of days. The momentum then kicked back in and it rose up to here. and then it took a day off and then take a nice shot up all the way to 3 cents, a little bit above 3 cents actually. And then it got too hot, right? It was just too much and the coin had to cool off. It's because, I mean, if you look here at the RSI, it was riding up in the 80, 90% for quite a few days there. And then it finally decided to take a break. Came down, tested this sensitivity area. You can see where it was a resistance, and then it just became a support, and then it took off yesterday. Today it's having a little bit of a pullback, but the new candle just started. So, you know, we're literally 2 hours into the new candle, 3 hours almost, and we're looking to see if this takes off. A lot of times you do want that bottom wick. Like you can see there's a wick down on the bottom of this one and on the bottom of this one. So you want this to come down a little bit before it does its next up move, which would be fantastic. So as far as the current price goes, sitting at 2 cents, actually, you know, 0.022 cents, people were thinking that it wouldn't even reach this until, you know, maybe the end of the summer, and it's already there now. So it's really exciting as far as potential for this. And again, this is not financial advice. So I'm not saying, you know, put your rent money on this. Don't do that. I mean, don't do that ever with any coin. So, but we've realized some great gains so far on this coin. This is my third largest holding. My first largest holding is Cardano ADA. And then also after that's Theta and then T-Fuel. I've actually got about a 50-50 mixture of both of those. So I guess this would be considered my fourth largest holding right now, but I do like this one. Holo is a great coin. I see great things coming from it. I see that it's a capability that's outside of the norm. And whenever you have a disrupting technology, that's always a good thing. So let's go look at the Cointelegraph score, and then we'll try to figure out how to actually buy Holochain. All right, so on CoinMarkets Pro, it currently has a Vortex score of 67, and it actually, so let's take a look on the daily, what happened here. So for today, in the last 24 hours, what has happened with Holochain? You can see over here was a 67, and then the price ran up nicely, came back down, and the price was in the 50s, 55 range. That's not really a buy score for Vortex. 65 plus, they say, is where you could potentially see a move coming in the positive side. So right now it is staying above that 65 zone. Right now we're officially at 67. You can see that the market cap is up 5%. The coin itself today is up 5% roughly. And the volume is down a little bit because it's at 819 million as far as volume goes. Tweets 922. So there could definitely be a lot more tweets coming out. But let's take a look down here at the market data. 50-day simple moving average is at 0.008. So it's really, really far away from the 50 moving average. So sometimes that can be scary. So right now we're in price discovery mode. So when it takes off, we're going to see what the price should be. And that information should be here soon. So 24-hour volume, $811 million. Average volume, 890 million. So, you know, once we get up to that $1 billion per day volume, you know, that's going to be a very, very positive thing. See what this market cap can get up to. In this space, there's nothing quite like it. So there's nothing really to compare the market cap to. This could eat up a lot of market cap from a lot of different categories, or it could end up being its own little thing that just putters along. So personally, I think it's going to be great. And we're going to see very soon how that works out. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to get Holochain. All right, so if you're wanting to hold Holo, this is where I store mine personally, Infinitio Wallet. I will go ahead and put a link down in the description. You can go ahead and use my link. It's a referral link. I don't even know what you get for it. I've not referred anybody to. I think you get like $5 or something like that. So it is my referral link. So just, you know, full disclosure. But Infinitio Wallet, you'll go in there and you'll be able to add a coin, right? So under the section that says token, you're going to click on token, and then you're going to type in HOT, and then you're going to want to look for the logo. Okay, so you look for the logo. So first and foremost, you want to have a wallet. Okay, second thing you're going to do is you need to swap it. So someone did mention that simpleswap.io is not working anymore. So we're going to use swapzone.io. Swapzone does a really good job as well. So let's take a look at the Swapzone website. Okay, cool. So if you go here and you do swapzone.io, what you'll do is select the pair. I personally like to use Litecoin for my transfers just because it's a lot faster. It gets verified on the blockchain so quick. And then you're going to select hot, HOT, get up to 9,015 hot. So if you do 9,015.4626, and then you multiply that by the price of Holochain right now, let's take a look. What is Holochain running at in the markets? 0.023 cents. 0.0230511. So 0.023, and you do the math on that. And currently one Litecoin is at 225. You do the math on this, it gets you to about 208. So you do lose money in a swap because they do charge you the swap fee, right? So just 100% upfront, letting you know how it works. Because I know some people on their first swap, they're like, whoa, I transferred some money and it's gone. That's part of doing business in the industry. They do take a swap fee. So using Litecoin, I want to get up to, it's going to tell me I'm going to get up to 9,015, and then it'll tell you what partners that you could use to switch. So what we're going to do is go, okay, yeah, so it says about 10 minutes. Yes, let's go ahead and exchange it. What do we do now? We let it go over here and load. So it's telling us what we are going to do is exchange one LTC for 9,015.4626 hot. Enter your address. This is where you're going to enter your hot address from Infinitio wallet, right? So when you select token, create a hot wallet, it's going to give you an address. You're going to just then paste that into this section here, and then you're going to proceed to the exchange. When you hit proceed to the exchange, it'll take you to the next page. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you an address to send your one Litecoin from. Okay. So then you'll go to like Coinbase or wherever you're holding your money, your coins, your tokens, and you'll take one LTC and you'll hit the send button, and it's going to ask you, where do you want to send it to? And Swap Zone is going to give you an address to send that Litecoin to. So what happens then is you send one Litecoin into Swap Zone. Swap Zone does the exchange for you, and then they send you back 9,019 hot tokens, and then they'll be stored in your wallet that you put right here. And that is how you swap tokens with Swap Zone for hot, if you are interested in getting any of that. Okay. Now, the other thing is it's not on the exchange yet. So imagine when this hits the exchange, right? So I know that there was a lot of hype when it came to Cardano. Oh my gosh, it's getting on Coinbase. It's going to be so crazy and amazing. Well, Cardano had already been on a bunch of other exchanges. So getting on Coinbase was not like this earth-shattering move. Yes, there's a lot of people on Coinbase that are not on these other exchanges because it's a simple, easy entry level. But at the same time, it didn't bring in enough of an actual volume move for that coin. So once this one gets on an exchange that's noticeable, right? Maybe a Binance or maybe a crypto.com or maybe a Coinbase. When that happens, the volume comes in, we'll see what happens. So right now, only basically experienced crypto people do all of this stuff. Most people that don't know anything about crypto are not going to take the time to swap. It's a little scary for them. And it is a little scary because you're sending your coin, you don't know if it's coming back. But Swap Zone, I've used Swap Zone. I use different swaps all the time. Just make sure you put your information in there. All right, guys. So that is a little bit more in depth on Holochain, what's going on there. Full disclosure, I do own some Holochain and I really love the coin. I think that it's going to go and do some great stuff. This token is amazing. So if you want to get some, cool. If not, that's totally fine too. But I just like to bring the projects to you guys that I'm involved in. I do this stuff just because I have a passion for crypto and I want to show you the things that I'm involved in. These are all the tokens that I talk about on my channel. I do have some tokens, right? Or I have had it in the past and so on. So I believe in these things. That's the only reason why I talk about them. Again, this is not financial advice. Some people are like, oh my gosh, you're trying to pump the coin. I don't even have a big enough following to pump anything. So, I'm not BitBoy Crypto or Crypto or Moonboy. I'm just a normal guy. And I want to bring you guys some real great information so it'll help you in your potential in the future to see what's going on. So I really appreciate everything. Don't forget, by the way, we do have the Cinco de Mayo challenge for our channel. If we have 5,000 subscribers by May 5th, we are going to be giving out a special prize, $100 in Bitcoin or $100 in cash or whatever you want. as far as those two goes, or a Ledger Nano X or a Wavestorm surfboard. So thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you later.